Hey everyone, it's Chris again. I am waiting on APOC Town to get approved, so I thought I'd try something cool. I am playing solo in State of Decay, just one character on Breakdown, level 99. And I'm actually about to win. If I don't do anything, I'm going to win. I am finishing up repairing the RV. And yeah, it's just something I wanted to try doing, see if I could do it. If you follow my blog on stateofdecayguide.blogspot.com, you will see the tips and tricks that I've used to get this far in the game. Again, I am one character. It's just me and Lily. He got sick. I wasn't really caring anymore when I realized the game was going to end. I started running through bloaters with my car, so that sealed his fate. He's sick. He's also getting tired, so I'm going to use my encouragement. Just some tricks and tips for playing this game. And in you. Oh, you won, man. Okay. Yeah, you're doing what you can. I know, I memorized that a long time ago. Tricks for the game when you're playing, especially in the beginning. In the beginning, you can loot pretty much anything into your safe, but in your storage. But later on, you want to only put a handful of melee items in. Right now, I have way too many. You really should only keep a couple machetes. Cutting blades, wrenches, because they weigh the least for a blunt weapon, and axes. You really shouldn't have anything else in there. Not that axe. I don't know if I have any big axes. But early on, when you're first starting the game, you don't want to put everything in there because you just need the influence to get through the game. But later on, you're going to want to buy these items out and sell them to any nearby colonies or not zombies or whatever they're calling them near you. Sell whatever you can each level. Basically, I use the final 30 minutes of the level when I'm waiting for my RV engine to be repaired to clean out my bank space. That was when I was playing with, a larger group and not just one person. That's how I was able to keep very few items in my vault, supply locker, whatever you want to call it, and never run into issues where I just ran out of space. I also started only collecting the bullets that I would use for my guns, which was the 5.56 and the 7 millimeter or whatever, meter or whatever that stands for. Those types of rounds for my machine guns, and I mostly stuck to 30-round weapons because that was easy to do with the homemade suppressors. The other thing you're going to want to do is probably take a level to make like 100 or so suppressors, and that will get you through pretty much all 99 levels of Breakdown. I found that I would end up finding suppressors as often as I used them, but building like 100 or so made sure I never ran out. I also built tons and tons of firecrackers, and that's probably the easiest thing to make in the game in terms of time and ammo, which is pretty plentiful. You're also going to want to know where to go to get stuff. For this single player game, I didn't really loot that much. You'll see I looted some key areas. This site I usually loot, but I didn't. This place is great for materials and oil. There's also, if I go right around here is also a bunch of oil. Materials, and then right around here is a bunch of oil. There's also oil over here in a field, which is great. Easy spots to pick off. There's a truck and materials right there. If I go down into the city over here, there's oil by this abandoned building. It's actually right around there. If I go over here, there's usually medicine in these storage areas. There's 3 storage areas. Usually get medicine out of one of them. There's usually oil, not in the police department, sorry, in the auto dealership, the storage, or the warehouse. These 3 areas. And then there's usually oil in this office over here. There's also usually medicine in the pharmacy, but I found in higher levels of Breakdown it wasn't really a guarantee. There's oil in this house, and the best place to get materials in the game is right here. It's actually all around this area There's like a little square of areas where you can go. There are construction sites with guaranteed oil and materials here, as well as where am I going? Right here. So those are some key areas where you're guaranteed to get those things. But I prefer over here. There's usually medicine or ammo on this bridge, and likewise medicine or ammo on this bridge. Very easy spots to grab. You actually don't have to throw a firecracker or anything. It's pretty simple. Where else? There's some stuff here, but it's hard to get. But what I showed you already was enough for you to get by and have everything you need for the RV. And that's all you really need to worry about. I know where everything else is in the game pretty much. There's this barn usually has some good materials. There's oil in a field right here. So it's pretty easy to get the farm as long as you deal with the hordes that come your way. But I chose to take this place because it's easy to loot around here. The buildings are pretty simple. There's actually not that many spawn points. When you run around to get these locations to create outposts, there aren't a lot of spawn points. The other thing I do is I do not wait for the RV to become available automatically. I roam around the map, and just to show you how easy it is to roam the map to find the RV, I will start clicking on places where it can be. We have a spot here. We have a spot here. We have a spot here. We have a spot, not there, sorry. Wait, it might be there. I'm drawing a blank. No, it's here. There's a spot here. When you go up this way, there's spots here, here, up on this hill. It can be in the woods, but I usually don't check there. I leave that to chance. I'll check the woods as a last resort when I've checked everywhere else. Here it can be. It can be here. It can be here or here. And if we work our way back around, it can be in the fields over here. It can be down along this road somewhere. I forget exactly where. It can be here. It can be over here. And then there's a cluster of spots down over here. You can have a spot here. I think right around there. And I want to say... Oh yeah, if I didn't mention right there. Those are the main spots where I found the RV most of the time. If it's not there, there's a handful of obscure spots up in the woods and whatnot where it can be. But pretty much those are all the locations you're going to be able to look. You're going to need to look to find it like 99% of the time. All right, well that's all I have for now. I'm waiting for Apoc Town to come out. For some reason it hasn't been released. I hope to God it's not a bug. If you look, also there's the white space is important because you can fire your guns and zombies will come running to you, but they won't spawn anew. If I'm in an area like here without any white space and I fire, zombies will spawn. When you're in a besieged mission, like that mission right there, the noise level is greatly reduced within a white area and you're able to fire without attracting zombies. They will actually kind of turn towards you but not run at you from a distance. What else? Yeah, just don't be concerned with building every building. In the optimal buildings are probably the ones I have here. If you don't have bedding, you build a sleeping area. If you need an infirmary, build an infirmary, but otherwise don't. If none of your people are hurt, don't waste the materials building it. It's just a waste of time. Always get a kitchen, and if you have a surplus of materials, build a training area. You shouldn't even build the watchtower unless you feel you need it. I feel that this area needs the watchtower, especially if you don't get this house and this house is your outpost, because you'll have, as you can see here, you can have zombies spawning really close to the building. And the last thing you want is for a feral to like come running through the doors, and actually the doors would be over here, but come running through the doors and mess you up. So it's best to get a watchtower in some cases, but not always. So I've had times where I literally had a bunch of empty rooms in the buildings and didn't build any medical facilities, nothing. I just drove around, found the RV, got my supplies, built a couple outposts to protect myself against hordes, and then I was done. So I'm pretty much, I believe, a State of Decay expert. I mean, I've done this a lot. At least for Breakdown, I'm an expert. Lifeline, I might not be an expert, but I was top 2 for score for a very long time, like 4 months. So that was pretty cool. And eventually I went down to 3, and then I kind of stopped playing. And now I'm in like the 20s or something. And my game got a little buggy anyway, the save where I was doing really well. But in that, you just get a bunch of rocket launchers and you're fine. The game's a joke. Grenade launchers, sorry. For the regular State of Decay, it's not really a skill game. But I feel that Breakdown is kind of a skill game, and once you get the hang of it, it becomes easy. Even at this level, without any kind of items and without any levels on my character, you can see here I don't even have anything really. I did play one level before this with him and the standard people that you get when you restart the game, because I started at level 99 again. And so it gave me like a bunch of people. So I beat that level. This guy got a couple levels, but I only used him to beat it. And then I said, okay, I'm only going to bring this guy and nobody else on the RV. And that was going to be my challenge for myself. But as you can see, I am about to beat it. And this may be the last time I play State of Decay. I don't know. I'll probably play once in a while for fun. I like the idea of not playing with heroes and, really struggling to survive, trying to find supplies just to be able to get through the game and barely etching a living. But unfortunately, it's just too easy to loot a bunch of areas once you have a car. For example, this construction site, I can park the car here, run out over here along some bushes and hide, and then go into the construction zone, create a distraction either by shooting out a window or throwing a firecracker, and then running back up to the car and just putting my supplies in, running back and forth. And that's an easy way to get, 30 materials and as many as 10 barrels of oil just from that alone. I mean, that's a good majority of what you need. So things like that kind of ruin the game. It's no longer about survival, and it's more about just understanding how to beat the zombies, how to make it so you don't have to fight zombies. And that, to me, that's the key to the game, is just find ways to not fight. And as you can see, I really haven't done much this game. I've got a relatively high score for a breakdown level for me, 44.99, simply because I built a bunch of building stuff just in case. I built the infirmary and the training area and the sleeping area just in case for this character, because I knew I was playing solo. Usually I wouldn't even build these things, except for the sleeping area, because when you do missions, sometimes your characters get tired. That's another thing, I do very few missions. Really very few missions. Alright, video's getting long. 8 Town, don't know when it's going to be available. It's already been released. It should be available. But I did want to put a shout out to State of Decay because they definitely influenced me. Also, Dark Souls definitely had an influence on the game in terms of its difficulty. Alright, good luck and have fun.